that gets people from where they are to where they need to be in ministry. And so I kind of want to talk a little bit today about volunteers. And we still have work to do at Barefoot Church, but we have done a pretty good job with volunteers. Because when you start a church, you don't have money to pay staff. And obviously, if you're a growing church, you never have enough money to pay all the staff that you need. So you got to be really good at recruiting volunteers, encouraging volunteers, challenging volunteers, and motivating volunteers to do various ministry around the church. Now, if you really kind of study the life of Jesus, we're going to break these talks up into two different sessions because I believe that we can really learn from his life about how to recruit volunteers. Because Jesus was a master recruiter. Did you know that? I mean, and so I'm going to talk in this first session about how to recruit volunteers. And I'm going to give you some simple things that you probably already know that you really need to be reminded of, though. But Jesus, he was a master recruiter. And if you really study the life of Christ, he recruited guys to follow him. And then he began to really establish them, equip them, and extend them into ministry. And if you study the New Testament and you look at how things go through the New Testament, you see that over and over and over again. I was taught it's called the ministry multiplication cycle, okay? The ministry multiplication cycle. And actually it's about recruiting, it's about establishing people, it's about equipping people, and it's about extending people into ministry. And if you really study the life of Christ, you see him do that with those first disciples. And then if you study the early church, you see that over and over and over again. We call it church planting. They would go into a city, and